For the past 2 centuries, we have heard that the Vedas are ancient hymns that speak mainly of ritual gods and cows. And some have asked, why have these 4 books about cows been preserved for 5,000 years? With the arrival of the internet, the claims began. Could it be that the Western translations failed due to ignorance of the Sanskrit grammar, or was it perhaps due to political convenience in the interpretations? Here we see a list of original Sanskrit words translated as the cow. Words like intelligence, light, cosmos, indestructible, earth, sky, freedom, unlimited, creative power, and many others, that were translated as cows or related to cows. As a result, most do not know the Vedas. We will see, in several short videos, a different point of view to try to understand what the Vedas about talk. Veda means knowledge, knowledge of reality. The nature of reality is the central theme of the Vedas. In them, it is stated that this reality depends on the point of view, appears to the observer differently. The instruments that the human being uses to observe reality are the senses and the intellect. Because individuals are in different cognitive states, they can see reality from different angles and confuse the illusory with the truth. The point of view or position of the observer will make him see a different reality. The totality of the points of view will also result in a different understanding. And by points of view, we must understand the spatial position of the observer and his understanding of the political, cultural, or artistic message. According to the Vedas, in each individual, there are 2 kinds of intellect, an imperfect intellect and a perfect intellect, encompassing complete understanding. According to the intellect used, reality appears as an illusion or as truth. The Vedas are like a vast library that summarizes the state of knowledge of the ancient world. These hymns sing the synthesis of knowledge existing centuries before Christ. Its huge knowledge collection divides knowledge into 2 classes, inferior or imperfect knowledge and superior or perfect knowledge. The Vedas are a compendium of these 2 kinds of knowledge. Knowledge called lower knowledge designates subjects of technical utility, such as medicine, archery, music, dance, military strategy, architecture, the arts, and all knowledge that may be experienced. The higher knowledge, the so-called knowledge of the abstract, is that which the eyes cannot see. They explain the essence of matter and the forces that create, sustain, and transform the visible world, cosmogony, the origin of the universe in its visual aspect, and hidden forces that expand or contain it. With the appearance of writing, all this enormous amount of knowledge was arranged in the form of 4 great books. Summaries that synthesize the knowledge considered superior and known as Vedanta were included there. The content of the Upanishads is called Vedanta, the essence of the Vedas, and is a collection of teaching methods or tools for knowledge. And it is here that the Vedas speak of a special cow that has a name. 10,000 years ago, men observed that cows spent much time chewing herbs and then produced milk to feed the calf. They also observed that the fewer herb chews, the less milk is obtained. Then they concluded that the cow's job is to extract the essence of the vegetables to convert it into milk. And then they wrote hymns where they explained that our needs cause all our actions and works, and that if we chew the meaning of our actions, we will find that we are capable of extracting the essence of existence. Kamadhenu is not a cow goddess. Its name means from where you could take everything wanted. Its 4 legs are the Vedas, and the body was made of concepts, ideas, and gods created by man. Kamadhenu represents the teaching of the Vedas, which must be chewed to extract its essence. And that bomb is the Upanishads. The milk that gives life to a new higher consciousness. But that awareness sometimes becomes challenging to achieve. The Vedas anticipated that they could not be understood without first understanding the phenomenon called superposition, which affects our lower intellect. Metaphors and stories are used to clarify the nature of erroneous knowledge. Let us take one of the best-known metaphors in the Vedas. A person walks in the gloom of sunset, and a large snake was found sleeping on the road. Fearful, he decides to wait until dawn to continue his journey and fails to sleep watching the snake. When the day comes, he discovers it is a rope. In the metaphor of the snake rope, the sense of sight transmits to the brain the images that the eye sees without any interpretation. In the brain, a recipient misinterprets information due to fear and sees a snake where there is a rope. However, the snake could not have appeared without the presence of a physical base, the rope. Therefore, it is not a total illusion, as in the dream. This illusion, the snake state, is a superimposition. The snake was never actually present. On the contrary, the rope, as physical reality, was always present, even when the snake took its place. The snake state is superimposed, and its subsequent cancellation is the removal of the false image, which will reveal the real observed object. In India, the textile industry was one of the largest in the ancient world. The Vedas use textile terms to explain the visible reality and the underlying reality that makes the universe possible. Straight looms called warp is used in looms, which hold other threads that cross by passing alternately below and above the warp. The designs we see and touch on these rugs are a reality. Still, the warp is the underlying and barely visible reality that supports this superimposed reality that the senses perceive. This is called abstract thought or Vedic science. Total knowledge necessarily includes an understanding of hidden principles, the soul of things, physical laws, and biological laws. The use of this superior instrument will allow us to understand the true nature of the self and the essence of the universe. For a flower seller, it is important that the flowers last for several days, but for the fruit seller, it is necessary for the flowers to die and the fruit to grow. For the seed seller, the fruit needs to be dried to collect them. The essence of this teaching is that the cycle plants, flowers, fruits, seeds is the same being in different stages. It is like affirming that the adolescent is the death of the child, and the adult is the death of the adolescent. When we see different stages as a unit, we understand that the flower is transformed. We cannot say that it dies, it only dies for the ignorant. The Tuli mantra, to understand this phenomenon, is found in the Upanishad. This stanza is known as what elevates us to the essential and says thus: from falsehood, lead us to the truth. From ignorance, lift us to higher knowledge. From what transforms, take us to what is eternal. This tool called mantra was inserted into the soundtrack of the movie Matrix, whose title means hidden mechanism. The jnana, the superior intellect, strips the object of its shape and, closing its eyes, perceives its true nature. Matrix is also called a rock where there may be embedded gems. The Vedas affirm that all human beings have the possibility of using the superior intellect that does not exist in animals. Viveka is the capacity for abstract thought. Abstract thinking is symbolized by the third eye on the frontal lobe. To use viveka, you must take your attention away from what is seen and use a third eye that allows you to see beyond what our two eyes see. The third eye is the intellect capable of seeing the abstract in what is seen by the eyes. And this is what we will see in our next video. Mounted on the lower knowledge in the human being, travels the possibility of using vinayaka, the knowledge that frees from all difficulties caused by fear and desire.